Good evening, XRP Army, Crypto Army. Hi, how y'all doing? Anything I say is never financial advice. If you seek a financial advisor, do so. From there, go on to there. Same old same. Everything's still on track. I think we're doing fine. We're going to be chopping around. I'm not giving up on alt season. To me, I think we're just doing fine. We're on track. That's pretty much, I've been getting comments from people, and I like to thank my followers and the likes, because when you like, it's free to like, and it does help my channel. To the newcomers, you go into my channel, check out my past videos, and and you can see pretty much what I'm into. And I'm not saying for you to get into them, certain coins and tokens. I'm just saying you could check out what I'm into, and I still believe in checking into your cryptos and doing your research, and and liking whatever you like. It's all up to you what you're willing to invest in. I wish everybody the best, because this is the time to get into crypto. When the prices are so low like this, and if you've already been in for years, you know what I'm talking about. When you get sales like this is definitely a good time. And November's going to be a big month for us. If it don't come, I've been, like I said, in the doom and gloom channels and the hype channels, and I see different points of view. That's why I go check out different channels. I like to see different points of views, and if I agree with those views, then I agree with them. I don't mean for you to agree with them, but everybody's got to make their decisions, and and live with it. I always believe invest a little bit, see where it goes. If it goes down, invest a little more, so on. I'm only saying this to new people, and same thing. When things are going up, sell a little bit. Do it the same way you would do when you're in the dips. You do when you're going up. Or if you're a long-term investor like me, I like to wait years, see where it goes. If you can afford to do that, that's also a good plan. I'm all done cussing the leverage traders out. They're going to do what they're going to do, and just because I'm not into it doesn't mean somebody else shouldn't be into it. Just for me, to me is not good for my position. So to the leverage traders that took me out of point, I apologize. That I just don't agree with you guys. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just don't agree. I believe in spot buys. So there are channels out there for leverage traders, and go seek those channels. But me, I'm a spot buyer. I like spot buying, and I'm gonna do so because that's what I'm into. Doesn't mean that's what you have to be into. I want everybody to make it. That's plain and simple. I just want people to invest and make money. It's like when you invest in the stock market, same thing. You invest a little bit, through years you invest more and more and more, and so on. There's losses in the stock market too, there's gains, there's losses. It's no different. Gold's doing really good. I don't know how long gold's gonna act high like this, but that's a very good investment. I've owned gold years ago, when I was paying $256 an ounce, so, and I remember silver was like $6, then it went to $12, and I thought that was great. Now it's like 50s, you know. Silver's come a long way, but it took many, many years for that to do that, you know. So, I mean, I was a young guy when that was going on, you know. So, and now I'm older, and, you know, and silver and gold is doing well, you know. Hey, to everybody that's stuck in it through those years and stockpiled that stuff, man, right on, you know. But my main thing is crypto, so I've invested a bit in crypto, and you know. And I just wanted to make a video tonight because I just got home from work, and I was checking out the market all day and everything, and just seeing us chopping around, and you know, I do other things on the computer. I just don't check out crypto on the computer. You know, in my job I do other things. So, but you know, I pop in and out, and I'm on it. You know, I just like to see, you know, which cryptos are going up, which ain't, and you know, and there's only very few cryptos that are making gains. You know, the rest of the market is still bleeding out, you know, chopping around, and you know, but I still believe that we're gonna have a November, and I believe all season is still coming. The 4-year cycles, like I said in my past videos, I'll believe it until it don't work no more, you know. And you never know, this might be the year that just doesn't work no more. We might get an extended cycle where things might not go up until January, February, March. Nobody knows, you know. That's why I'm a long-term investor, and I'm going to keep checking every day and seeing how things are going. And you know, I didn't plan on selling this year anyways. I plan on selling a few of my coins, but you know, because like I said in my past videos, I kind of went a little bit too thin on that, on my money, and you know, I just wanted to cut back and just focused on my utility coins, and you know, that was my plan. But it seems like I'm going to be keeping everything for a while, and unless we get all season and it goes through the roof, you know. And that's plain and simple, you know. Well, here's the wife.
Oh,
And you know, I wish everybody the best. You know, God bless all yous, and I'll try to make another video tomorrow. Aloha.